Christiania was occupied in 71 and it was a ruin. Then they start to clean up and collect different garbage like iron, paper, bottles. Then in 76, Christiania decided to make this as a place for selling stuff for building houses. And we start up with just small few things. And every time there was a profit, we invest in new things. In this way, we build up this shop. My name is Helene, and I work here in the Grønne Hal, in English, Green Hall. And I live here in Christiania. For me, Green Hall became a very big passion. I would never thought that I could work in a shop. It was not like my theme, but I found it so incredibly nice to be here. I stayed here now for 26 years, so you can imagine how much I like it. And this place became more than a job. It also became my family too. We learned this recycling in a way step by step. For example, all the things for making electricity. It's quite expensive. Why don't you want them half price? Why do you want the most fantastic plastic? Often the old stuff is more beautiful. It's made in a much better quality. In Denmark in the 50s, in the 60s, when all this plastic came in, people just want new stuff. But then it became more fashion, the philosophy that we should share this earth and we should not destroy it all. We should recycle. Well, I think the young people are a little more clever than we were. They build in a very good quality. But we have a problem with the young kids because we are not allowed to build any more houses. This house in my area, then I was really like, let's give it to the young. Oh, but do we have money enough? And will they be able to do it good and all this? And I said like, okay, come on. Could you build? I couldn't build when I moved out here. Now I made 2 houses. I can make a bathroom, I can make a kitchen, I can make a roof. I couldn't. So they will learn it. Give them a chance.
We've been given 2/3 of this house, where we are trying to build a community where we can live. Unfortunately, there are not enough space for that many people as it is at the moment. We all agree that we want to live together with as many different people as possible.
This house is owned by the government, and they want to keep it like a museum because this is the last house that hasn't been changed since the military time. And we want to build up and make more space so more people can live here.
I think that the most important for people to flourish is to be able to communicate properly. And people have personal lives and families and jobs, and unfortunately only meet at these area meetings. That's once a month. And usually people disagree at these meetings. We need to have more communication and community activities other than meetings.
And you will be so happy and you will be so proud. Take it little by little and go like Winnie the Pooh. Dream about what you want and it will come.
That is a tradition. It started in Norway, when Denmark and Norway was the same country. And iron stoves is normal in a country that is close to the sea, because the tile stoves, they're not so good when you have the change in temperature with the humidity. That makes them move and crack. So therefore you have to have more of an inland climate for having tile stoves. This is the technical explanation. Tradition is much more a reason for it. My name is Torbjørn Thomsen, and we are in Christiania in the good old wood workshop and stove workshop that has existed here since 1974. So they start to come here and sit and have a cup of tea. Well, of course there are routines, but it's basically you have to play it along like how it happens, like waiting for somebody to call, and then okay, then you have maybe have to go and look at a stove, maybe you have to go and pick up a stove that has to be restored, and try to contact customers around the world and see if they want any more stoves. We started as a woodwork shop doing furniture and so on. Then we started with the stoves because there was a need for it in Christiania. People were looking for them. It used to be the only kind of heating in Christiania because there was no central heating system. You were not allowed to use electrical heating because the electrical system couldn't take it. It would break down if you started using too many electrical heaters. And now it's not even Denmark. Now it's around the world. I mean, we don't sell many stoves in Christiania anymore. We used to sell many, and in Denmark we don't sell many either anymore. So we export Japan to US, wherever. Germany used to be our biggest market. Still is, actually. So we used to go every month to antique markets in Germany and so on, selling the stoves and the furniture. So we don't do that anymore. It doesn't pay off. But we still go to Germany like a couple of times every year with a load of stoves. We started as a woodwork shop, and then it became something totally different after that. Then it became a passion, then it became art, then it became like the whole culture in the stoves, like that became the interesting thing.
Right now we're in Snikkeriet Optimisten, which is the furniture and building parts workshop. It was founded in '79 as a way to try to get some people off the street and into doing some proper work. My name is Viggo Wichmann. I take care of the restoration and all the strange and crooked and less ordinary things. People still have wooden windows and doors, but they're just made in another part of the country where it's cheaper to fabricate. And they're made in large amounts on large factories. And this is a small workshop that does special designs. A lot of houses in Copenhagen are built between, say, 1860 and 1930 was the big build boom of Copenhagen. So there would be a carpenter on every single house that had his special tools. So every little detail in every house is different from the next house. And a lot of them are heritage listed, which means you can't change the outside appearance. So you can't just buy new, cheap doors from the factories and put in. You need people like us to recreate them with the original patterns. We have a lot of those types of house builders and carpenters that just do their work, put up their fucking plasterboards and go drink beer afterwards. We have a lot of those too. Not so many here in Christiania. I guess we're here out of a bit more of a passion for old things and for wood. Yeah.
This place has 3 owners, 3 women. There was a women's smith and a men's smith in here. The men, they started fighting with each other, so they left. And then the women said, okay, we'll take it. There are plenty of places where men can work. This is for women. I was actually a welder before I got here. When I was done with my education, I was here as a tourist, and I saw this place, and I was like, wow, I want to work here. So I started begging them for a job until they gave me one. The only thing about being a woman welder is when you're pregnant, you're not allowed to weld. I have 2 girls. I have had my breaks in work life. I have taught them both how to weld. The biggest one is 12 and the small one is 5. And they both think it's funny. I make tiny angels. They're very simple and very fun to make because you just cut out the pieces and then you form it like you want to. A lot of people buy these signs, like tourists, because it's like a small souvenir that you can bring home easily. We get a lot of money from bigger customers, where we make window walls to divide rooms into 2. So really big walls made out of windows. That's very popular right now because the apartments in Copenhagen aren't very big. So if you want to divide up a room, then you need something with light through it. I had to make a ladder to climb up, and it kept being wrong, and I couldn't figure out why. It was just wrong all the way through. And when we gave it to the person who ordered it, and I think, this is shit. And they were like very happy with it. Oh, it's so beautiful and it's very good. So like, thank God. I have given some courses in welding, but normally it's just people we know that say, I really want to try this. Do you have time? And then I stay after work and they can try it a bit.
Bicycles have been popular in Denmark for many years. If you go back to see videos from the 1930s and so on, you'll see that the streets are full of bicycles. My name is Risenga Mangezi. I worked here for many years, and then after those years I found a place to live here, and I've lived here for the last 7-8 years. About some 30 years ago, the first Christiania bike was made here. People who worked here discovered that there was a need, a special transport need here in Christiania. They experimented with how they could transport things around here without using a car. And they made an add-on which they could have behind the bike. Then they got the idea of moving the trailer up front and having a box in front of the bike. And that was how the Christiania bike started. Most of our bikes, like 80% of our bikes, go to standard Copenhagen urban families with 2 kids that use it in their daily life. But we also have other special bikes that are used for other purposes.
My name is Anne. I work with homeless people, and I'm out here at Christiania today because I have been working together with these people to build different kind of bikes. One for homeless people to sleep in, and we used original Christiania bikes to go on the street, do some street works. So we bring out food and sleeping bags and coffee, and and sometimes we bring the people in the bike so we can go around different kind of places.
My name is Athlin and I am a trainee bike mechanic. I met Risenga about 6 months ago and just got chatting to him and said that I wanted to learn how to work with bikes, and he invited me to come along, and a couple of months later it turned into something a bit more permanent. It is probably an unusual profession to have, but I think there are definitely more women getting into cycling, maybe not in a shop like this, but in bike shops in general. I guess I kind of introduced myself to it. I really enjoyed taking my own bikes apart and knowing how to fix them. Yeah, I mean, I'm no expert. I know how to put one together, but I'm still very much learning. This is a great place to learn because everyone's very willing to teach and is very open to kind of giving you a hammer and some tools and just letting you go wild.
It's always been natural for people in Copenhagen to use the bicycle. I think for Copenhageners, it turns out to have several benefits. First of all, in a city like Copenhagen, it's often faster because you don't sit in traffic queues. It's easier because you don't have to find a parking space for your car, and you don't have to pay for it. And then you have the added value that you also get to exercise while you're doing it. So instead of driving your car around all day and then spending an hour at a spinning exercise in a fitness center, you actually combine these things and bike around the city.
If you feel yourself that you're not quite ordinary, if you're a bit strange, if you look a bit strange, you can be out here and nobody will bother you.
We are quite different people. There's artists, there's carpenters. We have very few rules that held us together.
And I really appreciate the way we take care of each other. It's not possible just to see it when you walk around, but if you live a life here, you know all these life stories. And you always meet new friends, new relations.
Christiania has not been written down, this is Christiania. It's made out of so many different people, and I don't have to follow any guidelines, you know. I want to be free in what I'm doing.
There is a very creative ambient here. People are sort of allowed to do more or less what they like as long as they are responsible towards others.
I think we just happen to find each other here in this community.
I'm very proud of living here. I'm very proud that be a part of building up this small town.